Hello. We're making a video together, and Mama is sad today because we just called the animal shelter and we talked to the supervisor there, and she went over the file, the criminal record of my bully baby. And it doesn't look good. No, it does not look good. Okay, so that is not a good record, and the record has not been expunged. I know that Governor Newsom would probably expunge that record, but no, seriously. He wouldn't do that for my bully baby. He only does that for humans. The humans. The humans need to be protected. The humans are always like the most important thing for Christians and Muslims and all religious people. So thank goodness I'm not religious. So anyway, it's real sad. It is real sad, and it feels really disappointing. But Paul and I were already in love with him. It's already too late now. He already caught us. He caught our hearts. And he keeps looking at his photo too, and I keep looking at his photos. I have 3 photos of him, and I love my baby. Baby, we're coming to get you. Okay, so hang in there. Okay, right now we have there are trade restrictions right now between the counties even. And they're not allowed to adopt the dog out of 3 different counties in that area there. I can't say where it is because of haters. And we're not that far from them. So it's about a 2-hour drive, And we were both ready to pick him up, but even with the record, he's killed a dog, he's bitten children. Yeah, he's doing time, and all he really wants is he wants to be loved by someone. He just doesn't know how to express it. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And I don't know how long it's gonna go on with the virus and the restrictions and all of that. I don't know. I didn't want to cry in this video. But I use you guys as my therapists. We can be each other's therapists, okay? What else do we have? We don't have anyone else. Paul helps me too sometimes, but he's always trying to rationalize everything away, I don't want to rationalize things away, because that's another escape mechanism, so I don't want to rationalize anything. My bully baby. I need my bully baby. I was so happy. I was looking forward to picking him up. I was wondering, maybe I can get a psychiatrist to give me some kind of written permission or something, or some kind of written attest that my life depends on getting a bully baby. I was wondering if I can get someone to send that to me, to send me a letter like that, copy, that I can print out, that I can take over to the animal shelter and tell them that I got a special permission. I don't know what to do, but it can't hurt to ask, so I'm gonna ask people in our group therapy tonight, if somebody is a psychiatrist. I know there is a psychiatrist in there. I have already talked to him. There's a psychiatrist, an old guy is a psychiatrist, and maybe he will do that for me. That would be really, really, really nice. I don't have any money, but I would send him one of my art pieces. I gotta get a paper towel. We're gonna go through this, we're going through this. My bully baby and I, and Paul and everyone. We're gonna go through this together, through this lifetime, through this existence. And I feel very self-conscious always. And we have been shamed so much, as children. Women have been shamed for having sexual needs. This is really terrible. Man, that's terrible. That also makes me want to go into a rebellious state about that. That makes me want to go into reverse and say, no, I'm not gonna cater to society with this, and I'm not gonna act pretty to society, the way they want women to be silent, and the way they want women to shut up, and they want women to be submissive to men. It's not gonna happen in my life. I will never be submissive to men, never. I'll never tolerate some asshole double standards in men. I'll never tolerate that. I will never be part of a harem. Okay. Never. It's never gonna happen. Not even in joke form, not even in pillow fight form, not even in harmless flirting form. No, it's not gonna happen. Will not. We are equals. And you know it. You know it. We have equally big brains. We have equally much to say to the world. We are movers and shakers, just like you are. We are twin flames. And I don't play any games. I don't do sarcasm. I already explained that several times to people. I don't do sarcasm. I don't mock anyone. I might be a little teasy, but you know what I mean in that way, harmless, flirtatious. I show you the mirror sometimes. That's not, if that hurts the ego really, really, really bad, which can happen sometimes, then that's your entry point into your own work, your own psychological work that you have to do on yourself. Andrew Weaver and all of us, and I show you how it works. So I'm doing this on myself. I've been doing this for the last 30 years. I've been rigorously taking that journey within my own mind. I look in the psychological mirror. I own my mistakes. And I encourage other people to own their mistakes as well. And if everyone did that, then we would not have cold wars or actual wars or nuclear wars. Okay? If everyone was willing to introspect and look at their own mistakes and faults and admit to themselves that they have made mistakes, that they were wrong about things. So I'm not talking about worldview. If you have a worldview that is very totally extremely different to mine, but if your worldview is harmless and doesn't hurt anyone, then I have absolutely no problem with it. That's your business. Whatever you want to believe in, that's completely your business. But when it comes to worldviews that tell other people to murder people and animals, that's when I have a problem. I have a problem with Charles Manson. I have a problem with Satanists who tell other people to murder some. Not all Satanists are like that. There are many, many different Satanists and devil worshipper and Luciferians and many, 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 many thousands of different cults and religions out there. Okay. Not all of them are bad, but there are some that are bad. Okay. Some are bad. And that comes from childhood pain, and then they institutionalize it and they make it into something cool, or they think it's cool. They make it into a fad, they make it into a religion. And then they pressure each other even to do horrific acts, even to their own children. I've seen all of this on the internet already. There was a guy, he was in some kind of Mormon blood atonement cult, and they are very similar to the devil worshippers. I don't even know if they may all be very, very much alike, or be the same, be like one group. That Teal Swan said there's one blood atonement Mormon cult that works together with Satanists. They sent each other victims and those kind of things. I mean, it's really, really sick fuck. Oh man, it's amazing. And it comes from childhood pain. That's where it comes from. So, when there's a religion, when there's a worldview where they think it's cool to rape animals and children, then I have a problem with it. I said that many times in my videos. Okay? I have a problem with Islam. I have a real serious problem with it. And I don't care if I'm called Islamophobe. Yes, I am an Islamophobe. 100%. You better believe it. Absolutely, for sure. Okay. And I'm a religiophobe. I don't tolerate that. I don't tolerate cultism and religion and not thinking for yourself. Science is not about brainwashing. Science is not about indoctrination. Science doesn't take over the government. Science doesn't make people pay them or have harems or whatever, in people's basements. So science doesn't do that. Science is very agnostic. Science is about, let's test this and see if it works. And science is also, if science is honest, depends who is doing the science. So if they're honest, they say, okay, I see that we've just barely scratched the surface, Let's explore more. It's exciting, It's really exciting to explore into the infinite cosmos. And if we're really radically honest with ourselves, we have to say, okay, there's infinity, and nothing is linear, and nothing is two-dimensional. Really, the two-dimensionality that's just a mathematical dimension that we can calculate in numbers, but it's not a physical reality. It's just a mathematical dimension. It's a theoretical dimension, okay? Because in actuality, there is no 2D. It's 3D and up. So I think there'll be absolutely, there's no limit to the amount of dimensions that are out there, because everything is infinite. That is my view on it. You can have a different view on it. That's your business. As long as you don't rape little girls, and as long as you don't hurt animals. or as long as you don't do blood atonements, then I'm completely cool with it. I really am. No problem with it. I tell you how I view it, you tell me how you view it, and I say, okay, this is all cool. No need to get mad over it, okay? No need to go out in a van and collect body parts from people. So we should all celebrate together with rhododendron leaf tea to get rid of the virus, and do belly dancing on the lawn, and look forward to the summertime when I can take my clothes off. I will do a belly dance with skimpy shorts and show my sexy legs. Yes, I will. But right now it's way too cold for that. I'm looking forward to the summer. I'm looking forward to going to the beach again, taking my shoes off, going into the lagoon. That's gonna be awesome. I don't know what's gonna happen with the virus situation. I don't know what Joe Biden might do in this regard. It's very uncertain times that we live in. Very, very uncertain. That'd be insane for anyone to get a baby. My gosh, how insane is that? In those uncertain times, my body wants it real bad, but my mind says that is totally irrational. Totally irrational. Someone on Facebook who I have been talking to was fantasizing about this. Let's put it that way, because I don't think he really meant it. But I mean, yeah, my body will go on fire for that, for sure. Every cell will be like, oh my gosh, yes, 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 yes. Yes, we wanted that real bad. And my brain says, my right hemisphere of the brain says, no, that is like totally crazy and irrational, and that'd be so incredibly unethical. So, no. And I flirt, I flirt with men, and it feels good. It also brings up the need, it brings up a real primal need that I have not processed yet fully. And that is the need for my mommy. I've been working on that for a long time. I've done a lot of work at Dr. Arthur Janoff's Primal Center in LA. I've been there for many years, for 5 years altogether. I've been there and attended their group therapy and individual sessions, and it was very, very helpful for me. It was a very, very helpful stepping stone. I don't recommend that therapy anymore because 2 people died. Because I wouldn't say because of it, but their death could have been prevented. And I was so many times at that very threshold and that abyss, standing at the cliff over the abyss so many times, I can't count it anymore. So, but I feel like I've come out now, to come out that ego dissolution funnel. That's what it feels like. That tunnel. I've come out of that tunnel. So I've been through the ego dissolution funnel, and I have come out the other end. And I will always go back through the ego dissolution funnel. I will always go back to the beginning, go back through. So, and that's good, that's what we need to do. Anything else is an act out. Anything else is an escape mechanism. Being unconscious about my emotions is like the worst mental state one can be in. The absolute worst. And we're all desperate. Trust me, you are too, Andrew Weaver. Yes, trust me. You are very desperate. Every bit as desperate as I am. Okay, for attention and for a girlfriend and for many girlfriends and for lots of love and for lots of cuddling and all of this. And I so much understand, because we all need it. All of us. The giraffe needs it. And the horse down there, down the road. Feel so sorry for that horse. He's on a meadow, but at least he can groom with the other horse that is on the other meadow, and they can meet each other at the fence. So that's good. And he also has a real nice girl who takes care of him, the owner. I don't like that word, owner. His caregiver, his mommy, so she's very nice. And she likes us, and she thinks that's okay if we come over and give him apples to eat from our tree. So that's very nice. And then there's another meadow on the other side, several miles away from here, north, and there's a real large meadow spanning, like, I don't know, maybe 1,000 acres, and those horses, they have it really good. They live in a herd the way they should be living, and the one horse and the other ones on the other side of town, they should also be together with them. They would fit right in. They're all about the size of Haflinger, Iceland horse. My mother she has an Iceland horse. I hope he's doing well. I grew up with horses. My grandfather had a real giant horse, beautiful horse. My mother we had 2 Iceland horses and 1 mixed pony, but he fit in with them too. I wanted a Belgian draft horse, and my mother said, I put my foot down. I'm not gonna put a Goliath among all the other ones. I wanted a Belgian draft horse so bad. But, I keep dreaming, so maybe one day, before I die, before I take my spacesuit off, I want to have a Belgian draft horse and put a European Basset Hound on his back, just for the art and for the infinite cosmos love. That would be very, very nice to do that. And then I had a cat in the past, and that cat would go on the back of my pony, and I would pet the cat on the back of the pony, and I would pet the cat and the pony. The pony had a very flat back. Actually, the spinal cord was going in, so like really, really comfy, like upholstery, an upholstery back. I love that. And so the cat was so comfortable on his back that when I went back to the house, I could still see the cat comfortably sitting on his back from way far. That was so nice. Oh God, I have to have an animal. I can't live without an animal. I feel like a fish out of water without an animal, you know. I feel like the perpetual dog mother who lost her child. It is... I can't even explain it in words, what I have been through this last year. Just, I can't find words to describe the pain of that. But it is what it is, you know. It is what it is. And I exist and I embrace everything that comes at me, you know. Whether that is being shot one day in the head, I'll 100% embrace that. But I do not want to be I do not want to be kidnapped and brought into someone's basement. So this is my ground rule now, okay? That I do not want to experience, really seriously. And there were several guys who brought this type of fantasy up. And I had to say to this guy Charlie, he kept on over and over and over how he wants to abduct me and put me in his basement. And at one point I got so mad. I said, I'm gonna contact the FBI now. I don't know, that was a couple months ago. And he chickened out and he said, oh, no, he's just joking. Okay. Those are not very funny jokes, though. No, not at all. I will not laugh about those jokes. They watch way too many horror movies. My goodness. Horrific. Heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see those kind of horror movies and these kind of fantasies that some men have. And those horror movies, they're all written by males. Okay, 100% testosterone-driven horror films. And they think this is also, they're proud of it. They think this is very virile, very masculine, they think. No. A man can have lots of testosterone and be very masculine and not do those kind of things, you know, and be passive in bed. You know, that doesn't mean he's feminized or something just because he's lying down on his back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, this is so awful, you know, but I'm not gonna apologize for it. I'm not gonna apologize for bringing up all of these things because I know this is what's on people's minds all the time, and this is on my mind also, and this is very hormonally driven, and I can't help it, and this is who I am, you know. I'm not gonna apologize for having estrogen overload. I'm not gonna apologize for it. It is what it is, okay? and it also feels good, and it also is exhausting, and it is also incessant, and it's also relentless, and it is also annoying a little bit, but it is what it is, and I'm gonna feel the entire spectrum of physical and psychological needs. I'm gonna feel it all, and last night I cried for my mommy, and it feels very vulnerable to say this in the video, but I did, and that's not the end of the world, because that's the ego dissolution funnel. I go into my bed, I take my baby blanket, I bunch that up, and I scream into the baby blanket. And there were no words actually at all. It was just like a bear sound, and then it merges into the infant. It's what Dr. Arthur Janov calls the first line of primal feelings. The first line is in the womb of the mother up to half a year of age. Okay, that's first line. After that, there's second line. That's when we're toddlers, when our childhood, that's the childhood years. Until, I don't know, probably 13. That's when the third line begins. The third line is from puberty to presence. So the present moment of adulthood. That's the third line. So in primal therapy, and I would not recreate it the way they did it if I developed the therapy centers. So I learned a lot from Dr. Arthur Janov, and what I learned from him is absolutely vital, and those are they are life-savingly important things that I learned from him. Okay, but they also made mistakes, of course. So we have to be very, very careful when we enter into this type of vulnerable therapy. This is a very, very vulnerable therapy. This is much more vulnerable than hypnotherapy, actually. Because in hypnotherapy, people, they can have an insight into something, but then they get closed up again afterwards. And they come back to their presence, and it has been patched up again. They probed into it, they got a glimpse, and then they plastered back up. Okay, that's not what healing is about. Real healing and real introspection means I work my way through very gradually. Okay, I get to the core of my childhood trauma. Okay, sexual abuse, which I had. The angel I was talking to saw that too. That's also where wanting to be in charge, wanting to be in control sexually comes from. It's like my ego does not want to be subdued. That doesn't feel good. No. That would feel like sexual abuse again. And that's a real serious pain. And when men do that to their babies, they ruin these people for the rest of their lives. They rob them of their childhood. It's an absolute horror. That's why I talk about these things, these very vulnerable things, because people need to know. People need to know how delicate a child is, an animal child or human child. We're very delicate. And many boys have been abused too, and it's horrific. I already talked to some. It's horrific, and they suffer from the same thing, That can end up with severe OCD, with rituals, and religion itself is OCD. It's a form of OCD. It's a desperate coping mechanism. That's all it is. It's not truth. It's just something to use to escape from reality, from truth. Jiddu Krishnamurti separates the field of reality from actual truth. So, because he says that the field of reality is also it's also very relative, because we experience reality. We all experience reality, or can experience reality in a very different way, and perceive things in a different way, according to Schrödinger and the perception theory of the cat, and the particle versus weight, so the observer is the observed. So my perception is that becomes very subjective, and psychoactive drugs have already shown people this. I have never taken those, because when I was 13, I watched a documentary film on it, and I knew that lady there, that girl there, ending up in the psychiatric ward. I thought that would be me if I took that. And I was like, okay, this is a ground rule for life for me. I will never touch that stuff. And I never did. And I never had someone sneak that into my drink either. And I never hung out with people that were like really shady. I hung out with punks, but they were philosophy students, so they were not shady. The shady people, I kept them on arm's length. And I had a really good intuition for that. The blue god protects me, and I am in his blue bubble, blue sphere, okay, and that's wonderful. And I see an animal embryo in the sky. Looks a little bit like a horse embryo. It's very cute. So yeah, this is what I wanted to say for today. Okay, so you guys take care. Bye bye.